Hello. So basically, what I wanted to do today is share with you guys about how I'm feeling because I've been experiencing a lot of stress and I don't know if anybody can relate. But I am just wanting to share what it looks like in the moment to try or to be walking with God. I'm not a super religious person. Um, but I do believe in God, and I also believe in my ancestors, and I believe in the goddess, and I believe in a lot of things. But um, I wanted to share this because I feel like a lot of the times we see the videos of people and their testimonies or their, experiences after the struggle, and they're trying to tell you it's worth it and to go through it and to just stick it out. But I am in the midst of it and it's incredibly hard and incredibly stressful. And so I wanted to kind of come on here and share what I'm going through as a source of validation and maybe also like a little community pit where we can kind of all be in conversation and in our walk together and just say, you're not alone, so I can feel less alone. And so, yeah, so right now I'm preparing to move. I'm preparing to move to another country, and this is a place that I've never been before. And I didn't really know, like this time last year, I had no idea that this type of thing would be happening in my life. I've never had like a vision of going to this place, but it came to me in the fall and I decided to pursue it. And now I've been on this whirlwind, and now I'm at the point where I'm like a few weeks away, just about 2 weeks away from moving. And I'm excited. I'm incredibly excited. This is something that I really want. But I am also in a really precarious financial situation where I have to have a lot of faith about where the money is going to come from to make this move completely pan out. I have a job set up for that place, but I'm not going to get paid until 1 month after I am already there. So I have to have enough to get me through the month. Oh, and I have to have enough to pay for certain exams that I need to get done while I'm there and groceries, and then I need to pay for my flight, which I'll be reimbursed for, but I don't like it's just right now. Every time I think about all the things I have to pay for, and then I also think about all the things I've already paid for, I just get really stressed out. And I just sent in my 2 weeks notice to my job that I'm currently with. So that was super scary because I don't like being in a position where I feel like, oh, okay, there's a potential I could be stuck without work. Um, and also needing to, be saving for this thing. Like I'm at a point where I'm not saving, I'm just spending. And I'm having to really trust that it's going to be worth it. And I know it will, but it feels so scary right now. So, so, so scary and so uncertain. Um, and I don't know anybody in this country, so I'm going to be kind of alone um, and having to figure it out on my own. And it's a little overwhelming, but I am excited and I fought for this. This is something that I had to work really hard towards. I had to get like training, and so I just paid for the class and I started to do the things, and I had to push through a lot of hurdles and barriers. And so there were all these moments where I was coming up against this feeling of resistance, like maybe I wasn't supposed to do this thing, or I wasn't deserving of this thing, or this thing just wasn't meant for me, or it was the wrong timing, I was too late. There was so many periods where I could have just not done any more work and it wouldn't have gotten any further. I wouldn't have gone anywhere because I ended up submitting my papers late, because the government in Canada takes forever to do certain forms. And so then by the time I submitted my papers, the guy was like, oh, you're now going to be on a wait list and there's no certainty that you're going to get through. But at that point, I was like, well, I already paid all this money to get all these things done. because during the time that I was also getting my forms done, Canada Post decided to go on strike, which I'm happy for them about because I support people striking. I support labor unions. But it was really unfortunate for me in terms of financials because UPS is so expensive. But the nice part about that was that I met a really nice person at the UPS store. But um, yeah, there were so many points or periods where I just felt like I was completely falling. This dream was falling apart. This plan was falling apart. And because it had all been put together so like suddenly and quickly, I also felt undeserving at certain points because it's not like something I was working towards for years, you know. And I had actually just graduated in the spring, which allowed me to do this opportunity, but I wasn't even thinking I was going to graduate 2 years from before this because I had dropped out. And so there's a lot coming up and there's a lot going on, and I'm getting over so many things and so many money fears, and I'm just now starting to get back into a place where I feel comfortable and trusting myself with money because I've gone through so many things with credit cards and just being a bad spender, being somebody in your early 20s and irresponsible. And I just started, getting into investments and building my retirement and starting to feel more adult. And then now I'm making this big change and it's so expensive. And I chose this route because I thought it would be the less expensive route, and it is. And it is the route that is providing more stability. But in the immediate, it's so stressful and so costly, and it's all really weighing on me. And I feel very adult in the sense that I'm having to take all of this on and continue to push and not give up. And it's making me process a lot. It's making me process a lot of stress. And this past week, I was just, I wasn't hospitalized, but I had to go to the hospital because I ended up getting pneumonia, probably from my job because I work with kids, which is okay. I've gotten pneumonia before and I'm fine now. I took my antibiotics, and I think it's going around. But it was just really a lot. And while I was sitting in the hospital, I was thinking this is also partially probably due to stress because I was feeling something. I was feeling like cramping in my chest, and I knew that that was probably just also a lot of stress related things. And yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to continue to have faith and to not allow yourself to get completely and utterly overwhelmed. And oftentimes how I'm getting through this is just simply letting myself feel all the things. I don't fight it and I don't try to pretend like I'm super grateful for every moment of life. I'm just trying to be pretty honest with myself, and when I'm feeling stressed out, I'm feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. And if I need to take a break, I need to take a break. And if I need to, allow myself to spiral, then I spiral. And if I try to get some semblance of control, then I'm trying to get some semblance of control. And I'm doing whatever I can just to hold on to whatever sense of peace and stability that I can find within this like rocking of my world, because I feel just so unsure. And it's so funny because my timeline on social media, especially on YouTube, well, really only on YouTube, has started to show me videos that are really like negative towards this place that I'm going to. And it's like, why are you doing this? And specifically around what I want to do. And it's just like, oh my goodness, it feels like everything is being thrown at the wall to try and really break me down and get me off the path and test my faith. But I will say that the good thing about going through this at a point in my journey, in my faith journey, my spiritual journey, whatever, my personal development, growth, life, going through it at this point in life, I've been through enough trials, not the most, I'm still pretty young, I've got lots to learn, but I've been through enough trials of faith and patience and testing, my beliefs and blah, 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 that I can withstand this. So it's a lot of pressure and it's a lot of stress and it's a lot of uncertainty, and I really honestly don't know how it's going to pan out. I don't know how things are going to work out. I don't know if there's going to be more and more delays. I don't know. I'm really not sure. And I don't know what's going to happen once I get there. But I am just not allowing myself to step away from this. And I'm learning that, not all forms of resistance are signs that you should stop, Because I think there was a time where I felt like, okay, if there's a lot of pushback, maybe, this isn't where I need to go. But, and I mean, I don't know if that's ever something that I actually truly thought, but I think that there are things that I would have given up on earlier, and there are times that I've given up way earlier, way sooner, and just not seen something through because I just didn't see it for me, and I didn't have the faith, and I didn't have the desire and the willpower. But this move and this new job is connected to so much more than just, a desire to get to this place or to do whatever. It's connected to a lot of really core dreams for myself around being financially independent, being stable, getting to really begin to build a legacy and a life for myself. And that's something I can really do through this opportunity. And I am seeing that more and more. And so I'm taking it very seriously. And I think the fact that I'm taking it so seriously is what is contributing to why this is becoming such a big foundational shift in my life rather than just another thing that I'm doing. Because I've gone on trips before and I've moved temporarily before, never for a long extended period of time, but for a few months at a time, for 2 months once and then for 3 months. So I've done that before, and I've moved countries before. I've been an immigrant before, so none of that is new, but doing it on my own like this for a year is my contract, but I'm hoping for it to be for longer, and for it to potentially lead me to a new life. All of that I've never done before. This is the first, I guess, really adult thing that I'm doing, and decision that I'm making for my life that I'm making completely on my own, and that really affects, my life. It's a career change, and it's decision. It's a choice to do this, and it says something about where I go next. And so it's really, really scary. It's really scary and really overwhelming. But I am trying to just lean in instead of backing away. And there are so many times, it's been such a back and forth because when I was starting to feel like, okay, maybe this isn't working out, I started to put my energy into another idea and trying to continue at least the path of I'm getting out, I'm moving, I'm going forward in my life, especially in this age, in this day and era and time where it's really hard for young adults right now to get a leg up and to try and create a form of stability and a life for themselves. There's a lot of negative media telling us that we won't be able to ever move out, we won't be able to ever get our own homes and be really financially strong and independent. So there's a lot of negative media reinforcing this feeling within that you're stuck, especially if you're poor or you're from the lower class or the working class. And so, I'm having to really fight that and really, really, really fight for my life that I desire. But I know that I'm not doing this alone because I know that I'm leaning on something more because I'm talking to myself and to God this entire way through. And when I am giving up on just talking to myself, I'm praying to God and I'm asking for help and I'm shuffling my cards and I'm leaning on my spiritual tools that I have. And I'm not doing that for no reason. They're not just coping mechanisms. It's a real thing. My faith really does hold me and really does carry me through, and it's worth it to have faith. It's worth it to have a spiritual practice, whatever that looks like. I don't have any ritual that I do or anything like that. I have a relationship with God. I have a relationship with my spirit, with my soul, and that is foundational in my ability to continue on and to do this work of trying to change my life, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm changing my life, and it's so stressful and so hard. And I guess it's just overwhelming because the last time I made a really big change like this in my life, I was making a change in my relationships. I was letting go of a lot of friendships, and it was after I had just gotten out of a relationship, but that relationship was really short. But these friendships, had been a few years or maybe 2 years, and it was a lot coming undone when those friendships were coming undone. That was like the first really, really big change I made on my own. All the other changes in my life that I've made have been family decisions. I've never really been making them on my own. Um, and I guess maybe the decision to come back to Canada after living in the States for a decade to go to university, that was a big life decision that I made on my own. Um, and that was to pursue a relationship with my family that was here again because I was so disconnected from them because I was living and growing up in the States from a very young age. Um, so there have been a few times that I've experienced big shifts in my life. A lot of them happened in my childhood, which makes sense because I'm only 24. But yeah, I would say that this is the first big one that is really rocking my world in a way where I'm standing on it 10 toes down, and I'm the one that has to deal with it in almost every area of life. With the friendships, I was the one that made that decision. I stood on it and I dealt with it, but it was just relationships. I still had a home, I still had my family. Other things in my life were still pretty stable until they weren't. But with this, everything is kind of happening all at once. My home is changing, relationships will change because I'm leaving. My financial situation is very, very scary and uncertain. Um, I'm feeling emotionally and spiritually really tested and worn down, stressed out. And then career-wise, there's a lot of change and a lot of uncertainty. And then culturally and what I'm going into linguistically. And there's a lot. There's a lot on my mind. And it is overwhelming. And when it's not overwhelming, it's like I'm in a daze and I don't know what's happening. And I'm scared. That's the honest truth. Right now, I don't know anything. I don't feel certain or relaxed or calm. And sometimes I do. But right now, I just feel really, really nervous, really, really scared, really, really overwhelmed, and wanting relief, wanting help. And so I wrote a little list. It all had to do with financials, about ways that God could really pull through for me right now because there's a lot of financial things that I'm scared about. Um, and I'm just hoping that those things really work out because that's what I need right now. So, yeah, I'm asking God right now for money or at least to show me exactly how these things are going to get covered because, yeah, I'm trying to ask for help. But also just trying to have faith and calm down and relax and realize that ultimately, if something can't get done, then it's not going to get done. And it'll have to wait or it'll have to not happen. And no matter what, I can survive it. I can survive it. It's fine. Everything is, for the most part, survivable, especially in a situation like this. This is not life or death. It's a dream. It's a really big dream, and it's a really big shift in my life that I want to happen, despite how scared I feel. But it's not life or death, and that is important to remember. And so I am trying to remember that actively every day. Um, but yeah, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous, and I'm really scared. But positive things did also happen this week. I got my braces off. Yay! I got my braces off finally after 5 years. Don't ask me why it took that long. It wasn't supposed to. It's my fault. It's not my orthodontist's fault. But yeah, 5 years. 5 years later, and I'm wearing my, what's it called? Retainer right now. So I have a little bit of a lisp, but I'm trying to get used to talking with the retainer in because I do not want to be one of those people who doesn't wear their retainer and then waste their money. So I'm like, let's just get used to talking with the retainer in so that you don't feel like you need to take it out every time you want to say something and then you just don't wear your retainer. So yeah, it's all just about surviving. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just walking with God and I'm trying to survive, and I am. I'm making it through day after day. My contract starts on March 1st, so I officially, let's see, how many days do I have left? It's February 14th when I'm filming this, so it's Valentine's Day. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days until I am supposed to leave. And so there's a lot of things still up in the air. We will see how things go. But yeah, I am excited. I'm just nervous. I'm just super, super nervous, but I am really, really, really excited. So we'll see. We'll see. And I'm just grateful. I'm looking at my phone because right now it's recording my voice because I'm trying to also get my thing in written text because I made this pact to myself that I was going to write more. And it's interesting because I always wondered how it well, I didn't always wonder, but I'm realizing that it's probably recording my voice, like actually recording it. I thought it was just like voice to command, like it would hear what I said and then it would just blah, blah, blah. But no, I think it actually records it. So that's interesting. I didn't think that. But yeah. Anyways, so that's it. I think that I'm going to let you guys go now. I don't know if I shared anything really helpful. I just kind of blabbed. But I think I just needed to get it off my chest. This is what it's like. It's like I said, I'm not like in a part of the walk where I'm feeling strong. You know, like God is really carrying me. I'm like dragging my feet. I'm not dragging my feet. I'm walking, you know, when like somebody's like this and you're like, oh, or you're like, oh, or you're like, ugh. I'm in distress. I'm in distress, panicking, freaking out, stressed out. And God is like walking firmly. And I'm keeping up the pace. And, you know, sometimes I'm looking over there. Sometimes I'm trying to write out my plan B. Sometimes I'm looking for my escape exit. You know, all the things I'm doing to cope. But I'm walking with God the entire way. And if it wasn't for God, I don't know what I'd do. I'm very, very grateful because, you know, that's the love that gets me through. And also the love of my family. The love of my family and my friends and the patience of people around me and the blessings of life and my ancestors and myself and my personal strength. My family really, really, really gets me through, and I'm so grateful for my family. You really have to lean on the people that you love during this time, but yeah, when I'm all alone and I'm freaking out or I'm just in my head, it's, you know, God that I'm breathing with and I'm remembering, and I imagine that when I get to this place and I'm really all alone, it'll be God that I'm really breathing with and who is walking me through and holding my hand the entire time. So I am grateful for their love and guidance, and I hope that if you are going through a hard time right now that you also have that to lean on, and if you don't, I hope that you find whatever God is to you. You know, God doesn't need to be this spirit in the heavens or the sky or whatever, or doesn't need to be anything within you if that's not what you relate to. God can be whatever that feeling is for you that takes care of you, that holds you. It could be your mom, it could be your grandma, it could be an angel on your shoulder, it could be music. Sometimes music is that for me. It could be anything. But yeah, I see God within all of that, so that's how I process it. But ultimately, it's just about making sure that you have something to take care of you and help carry the weight, because this weight feels like the Ten of Wands. And now I understand the Ten of Wands more, because it's like it's not like she's carrying all those things because she wants to and she like doesn't want to let it go. It's called stress and overthinking and overburdened for a reason. It's not easy to get that off of you. It's something you're literally carrying. And sometimes, when you can't just drop something, or else like it would crush your toes, or like it would break and you need that to stay intact. Sometimes somebody has to help you. You have to be able to set it down onto something and all these things. Or sometimes you don't even know how to get it off of you. You're so scared to drop it, it might kill you, all these things. So yeah, right now I'm just working through it, running through the waves, but it's real stress. Real stress. I don't think maybe I have. I feel like the closest I've gotten to this kind of stress was when I was deciding to end my friendships. That was stressful, but that was kind of like, it was much more short-lived than this. This is an extended period of stress. But I'm okay, and it's not every day, and it's not all day. When it is during those days, it's not all the time. It's just a little. I'm getting wrinkles, which is also something that I've been coming to terms with this year. I literally have wrinkles, and that's okay because it's like, it is what it is. But I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, I'm getting old, And when you start to get old, for me, I'm like, okay, well, TikTok, where's my soulmate, Where's my partner in crime? Where are my kids? Where's my house? Like, those are the things that are on my mind right now. Retirement is on my mind, making sure I have money to retire because I'm not going to work forever. And then having my house and having my person and having my kids. Having my person, my kids, and my home are like the most important things for me, and then a setup. But I think, yeah, the wrinkles are just like, oh shit, yeah, I'm getting older. That's a real thing. So like, where is everybody? Where is everybody that doesn't seem to exist right now? At least my person has to exist right now, but my kids don't. But I think about them a lot. Anyways, I think that's it. I'm just so curious as to whether this is going to continue to record if I stop speaking. It's kind of why I've been still speaking for so long, but I gotta go because I want to go to sleep and I just want to lay down and close my eyes and shut off. So I'll see you guys later when I see ya. I hope that you're doing all right and that this brought you some sort of, I don't know, humor, or I don't know if you can laugh at my pain. It's not really, there's not much to laugh about. But I hope that this brought you some type of like, we're in it together. We're both, and we're going to survive. There is an end. There's an end point to this. I can see it. It just feels so like, in the meantime. And all of the unknowns, but we will be fine. Woo-saw. I was going to say we will be fined. Why would I say that? We will be fine. Maybe we will be found. Who will find us? Hopefully our people. Anyways, also hopefully some reprieve. Okay. Bye.